All right, we're testing. Hello, everyone. All right, we're testing. Okay, I always have to wait for the feedback to come. Welcome, everyone. I haven't been on for a while, so this is quite wonderful to be here in this space. I hope that everyone is doing well. We've had eclipses, we've had solar flares, we've had all kinds of things happening, lots of changes in the world, and I want to know, how are you doing? Because it has been quite intense. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. I kind of feel like I'm in and out of time and dimension. Some days I'm tired, some days I'm extremely energetic. Some days I'm up, some days I'm down. Sometimes I'm up and down in the middle of the day, the same day. So it's been very, very interesting. So when they say go with the flow, that is like really the mantra of every day, is to go with whatever the flow is that's happening in the particular moment. So I really wanted to share a conversation from the angelic realm that was kind of just in my energy today. If you follow numerology, for me, when I see 444, then that's generally an indicator to me that there's an archangel, the angelic realm is present and close. And of course, there's always angels around us. We just don't know, or sometimes don't avail ourselves of that angelic assistance. I guess it's like we take them for granted a little bit, if you will. I personally grew up in a paradigm where in the United Methodist Church, like angels weren't really like a thing in terms of like the Catholic Church, where like Angel Michael is to be the patron saint of, like all those kinds of theology-based relationships with angels. I have not had. My work in terms of coming into connection with angels has been since my awakening. And so it's been like really cool to begin to become aware of the different presences in that realm. I definitely know Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, and Gabriel, Metatron, Raphael a lot, right? And Archangel Michael a lot. So it's very interesting because also Archangel Uriel and Uziel, both archangels. I actually met people with those names like in real life during magical, mystical trips and journeys that I've been on. So it's been cool to meet somebody with an angelic name walking and talking, on the planet, especially one so unusual like Uriel. So I wanted to just to continue to have that relationship with the angels in a conversation. And so as an oracle, I wanted to see what messages can come through me today for myself. And then of course, I'm sharing with everyone else who should come to this message. If I forgot to mention, my name is Joelle and I'm the Viberarian. So my goal is to elevate, enlighten, and empower. I'm doing that for my own journey, and then I come here and share with the hopes that it will also elevate, enlighten, and empower you to see and share the things that are available through my life experience. So I picked out today, of course, as you can see here, the Viberary Oracle card collection. This is just pieces of it. I've got so many decks that it's getting challenging to store them all. But I went through and was guided to get all of the decks that deal with angelic themes and messages. So this might be a long reading, so you might want to get your popcorn, or, if you're catching this on the replay, you can always listen faster if you choose. But what I'm going to do is have a conversation with the angelic realm, and we're going to see what layers want to come in from the various tools. So Today I'm going to be using these decks. First of all, we've got two Doreen Virtue decks. If you're familiar with Doreen Virtue, these are hers back when she was making Oracle decks. Of course, we all know she's moved away from that. But we have the Indigo Angel Oracle cards and the daily guidance from your angels. And then I also have the Angels of Atlantis deck. I actually have also the companion deck to this, the Archangel Sigils deck, but I was not guided to pull that for today's reading. So there must be something very specific in the cards. That's the thing about choosing the cards that I use. I always tap in and ask, like, what is the communication that we need to have today. And so Spirit guides me then to the decks to pull out. So today it was like, we're doing these angels. So the Angels of Atlantis, and then the Archangel Oracle, Archangel Metatron Oracle by Amanda Ellis, who I love her channel. You can find all these people. I'll put notes in the comments below so that you can find them. And then these two decks here are from a beautiful lady named Ronna Vezane, who has been channeling Archangel Michael for, I think, 40 years now. And so she has created these postcard decks, which are really very beautiful. They're very simple, and it's just the messages that she has brought in from the angelic realm through her own channeling. So we're going to get started and see what the layering of this message is going to be for us. So asking for myself to be an open and clear channel, to be able to bring messages that are truthful and loving from the angelic realm for my understanding, awareness, and for the upliftment of all who shall hear it. May it be of love and light and for the highest good of all. And so it is. Okay, so I want to go ahead and start with Amanda Ellis's cards, because these cards are really interesting. As you can see, it's an awesome deck. Great box, big book, lots of information that she's brought in. So I've already shuffled all of the decks preliminarily, but I do like to shuffle again just before bringing out the energy. It's so magical when things just line up synchronistically in real time. So let's see here. Through Archangel Metatron, what messages are there for us today? I'm going to draw two cards from every deck. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and just draw all the cards and get them ready here. So we'll have two from every set. So from the Indigo Angel Oracle, we'll draw these two. And I'm taking the top and the bottom of each deck after shuffling. You know, the thing with cards and having the conversation, have the conversation the way that makes you feel comfortable so that you can trust what it is that you're receiving. We develop a lot of like tricks and routines and habit patterns that help us as humans feel comfortable about the conversation from spirit. So a lot of that is the shuffling technique and how you're touching the cards and stuff. All that is just deeply personal. And the whole thing is for you to trust the messages that come through. So let's see here. From the daily guidance from the angels deck, from the Angels of Atlantis, top and bottom, and then from the Oracle of the Angels. Oh, that's the one I forgot to show you. The Oracle of the Angels deck. I love this deck. It's super cute. Mario Duguay is the author of this. All right, so I'm not going to draw the Archangel messages from Ronna Vezane. I'll wait until the end to go ahead and draw those after we've kind of brought in the main message. All right. 2 cards from everything. All right. Now let's see here. Let's get these organized. Let's see. We started with. All right. So first stack. All right. We have silver, the mirror of light. And this is card number 30. This is so interesting because the sword of truth has been coming up recently for me in my personal readings and in messages that I've heard. And, you know, here we have under the moon, this lake, and emerging from the lake, we have this hand. To me, you know, the moon is, we're in this eclipse window from the lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse that comes at the end of this week. The moon is about our hidden feelings, our emotional realm, the inner world. So emerging from this lake, which that's the body of water, is like the body of our emotional state. We are emerging from this eclipse period with newfound truth, right? And this mirror, the mirror messages, if you've been following on this channel, then we have had a lot of messages about the mirror coming through from the Mayan oracle, talking about how we are mirroring and how everyone is an opportunity to see ourselves in the mirror. So, you know, a lot of what we are seeing reflected in our society, reflected in other people's behaviors, those things that are challenging us and making us uncomfortable, all of that is helping us to emerge and move forward and come out with like a newfound clarity, a newfound revelation. So this is very interesting. And I know you can't see in my office here, but I'm looking literally at least 2 images of the moon right now because I have moon prints on my wall. So the fact that the moon is here in this, it is such a powerful energy. It pulls on the gravitation of the planet. Our emotions, that which moves into our waters of our being, it moves us as well. Just like the moon moves the tides, our emotions move us into positions and into places and into circumstances. So the question is, are we allowing our emotions to lead us into a calm dynamic, like this peaceful water? Or are we allowing our emotions and the things that we're discovering in truth to disturb our peace? All right, this is very, very interesting here. Now, I am going to see what it says in the guidebook because I think that she has done such a beautiful job of channeling in information. I think that with all the cards that we receive, you know, the practice of having conversation with spirit is that it's like you go to church and you have the preacher and the preacher can give you a word. That's like these folks who write in this book. This is the, you know, them giving you the word, but you also then have your own interpretation, your own conversation with spirit when you're in the pew, just like you have your own conversation with spirit when you're using the oracle cards as well. So it says, warrior of light, you are being asked to be one of Archangel Metatron's warriors of light. To do so will require strength, dedication, compassion, and to always deal in the truth. All right, warriors of light. That is so beautiful. It's so interesting because this is at night, right? So it's like illuminating the light in the darkness, right? So this is a beautiful energy. It says here that these are the noble qualities that one who serves the light must master in life on the spiritual path before them. Our world has seen thousands of years of bloodshed where warriors battled against each other, fighting over land, religious faith, and what they deemed right. Now, as a spiritual warriors, we fight as one. No denominations apply other than the signature of the human race working for the light. Those who are given their silver sword of truth know that we are all one. It will never be used to harm another, but to wield off and warn the dark that the light is here. It is given to you now to protect and clear the path. It is bestowed on those who have fought battles with their own darkness and have found the light within themselves once more. You have a steady hand and a wise soul, and the light burns bright within you. You found the light within, like this is within, coming without, right? So we found the light within. Oh, hey, sorry, I was looking at the chat here. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Actually, just to pause the flow here, I'm actually looking at Nikki's piece of moon art. So, that's beautiful timing. Thank you, Tanya. Everyone who's showing up for this live, thank you. I love you. Support, I appreciate it. The Good Vibe Tribe. We're all doing similar work together. So, it says those who have fought battles with their own darkness and found the light within themselves once more. I've definitely been battling darkness. Like I said, those moments when you're feeling maybe sad or depressed or concerned or have stresses, sitting with that and being in it and acknowledging that I'm feeling like less than high vibration in any given moment, and then moving forward out of that space while allowing myself to have had my time there. That's part of what makes me a seasoned veteran, if you will, and ready to embody this warrior principle, right? You have a steady hand and a wise soul, and the light burns bright within you. The sword cuts through all illusion, falsehood, deceit, and denial, and all that is negative, heavy, or tainted by wrongdoing. It highlights those who seek to harm or defame you and only has power when held by the one it is made for. Now you have its power now in your hand. Use it wisely. The silver blade must never be used to harm, but instead must act to defend all that is good, honest, and pure. Hence, it stands for justice and a balancing of karma for anyone or any situation that seeks its energy. The silver full moon often signals a time of completion and a cycle ending and a new beginning. At such times, invoke the silver ray to purify the past and clear the way for a bright new future illuminated by silver's truth and clear direction. You are protected by Archangel Metatron's silver ray at all times. No harm can befall anyone who asks his light to be within or around them. One who holds the silver sword is never alone, need never fear the dark, and is always safe. Feel that energy now and allow it to make a difference each day forward as you walk the path of the light warrior you truly are. Now, this is so interesting because many of us are getting up in our warrior energy in response to conflicts that we are experiencing in polarity. Those who have different viewpoints in ourselves, we have opportunities to go to battle against them, right? And we're defending ourselves, but a lot of times we are not cognizant then in our defense of the harm that we are willing to do in the name of defending ourselves. That's the fine line, the middle path, the path of illumination, which says that, I do not have to react in a way that is harmful, just as harmful as the experience that I'm receiving from those that I feel that I must draw the warrior sword against, right? So it's very interesting because we are looking to clear out the past and a bright new future, one that is based on a universal truth that is love. Definitely definitely. Beautiful messages. Okay, so in companionship with that, it talks about the energy of pink, which here we have the shell, we have this almost like clear pearls, we have this pink ray shining out, bursting forth from here. This says pink self-love and nurture. One thing that's also interesting to me is that as I'm looking at this shell, I know it's not an oyster shell, but it is a shell, and it does look like there's a little kind of pearl thing happening at the bottom. And to me, that is about friction, right? The friction that the sand gives the inside of the oyster in its most tenderest parts causes it to, rather than be the warrior and eject the piece of sand out of itself, rather than sending poison to the animal that is intruding, the oyster's mechanism of defense is to surround that friction, that issue, with a coating, with a shell that winds up being very valuable and beautiful to behold. So that love that we armor ourselves with rather than hate will create eventually a beautiful treasure for us all. And it's like the pearl of great price within oneself, to be able to love yourself unconditionally. Because if you haven't even got to self-love, then the reflection that you see in the mirror in the world will be a world that is not loving. So it always starts from the inside, as an inside job for us to look to see, to look to see how we are going to be what we want to experience. And I promise you, self-love is the hardest thing to do. We think that love is easy. We think that loving others is easy, but what we do is we love them with as many conditions off as we can, because we're hoping that they will give us some passes too, right? When really, if we love ourselves from unconditionally first here, then no one needs to give us a pass. Nobody has to write off some of our flaws in order to be around us, to be friends with us, or be connected with us, right? So like, as a self-loving person, I don't need for those who I'm interacting with to validate me. Therefore, my conflict experiences with those around me is lessened, because I am not engaged in a dynamic of proving myself or having allies or looking for acceptance and approval from the outside world. Every time I'm, triggered by something, when I see somebody doing a certain thing, then I immediately, now it's like a reflex with that mirror of saying, okay, where's this energy in me? And can I find it in myself? And am I critical of that same energy in myself? Would I say the same thoughts that I just had towards that person? Am I saying them to myself, or am I trying to edit my behavior so that no one will say the things about me that I just said about them, right? When I get to the point of saying, you know what, I do have a problem with this aspect of myself. It turns out I am feeling maybe less loving about where I am right now, and I didn't even realize it. By the time I've had that whole conversation, the catalyst for that has long disappeared. from my reality. You know what I mean? I'm no longer even encountering that person. I've turned the channel or I've disengaged, from that particular friction. So the things that I'm carrying inside of me are way more intense than anything that the world can carry to me. All right, so let's see here what we have from this pink. This is card number 26. It's just so vibrant. I love it. Ask yourself, well, pink as a color energy reminds you to nurture and love yourself. Only by doing so can you begin to open up to all that you deserve to receive. All right. Ask yourself, when was the last time you criticized yourself? And when was the last time you gave yourself praise? Oh, hello. 20 minutes ago. Okay, to both, right? The truth is that criticism flows more easily in many, yet you are now asked to change the pattern of behavior and see your beauty and talent, not your flaws and inabilities. The truth is that you were born in the Creator's image and you are perfect as you are. You are meant to enjoy and savor attention, praise, respect, and love. Yet it all comes back to whether or not you feel worthy of these blessings. Start each day by appreciating one aspect of yourself. It may be a personality trait, a deed done, a word said, or an aspect of appearance or soul nature. Allow that one thought to grow daily until you see your true beauty reflected back to you a thousandfold. You may be undoing years of false patterning, unraveling what others may have said or done, but go within and find your own well of beauty. It is there. Like the prized pearl encased within a scallop shell, the biggest prize can be in going within and finding your own treasure and your own gifts and learning to love yourself. Pink energy allows you to be soft and gentle. It is never harsh or reproachable. It asks you to treat yourself as you would a good friend, to be kind, patient, and caring in your manner and approach in your life. Open your heart to feel how much love there is for you, both in your own life and within the higher realms, so much that you just don't realize. Pink is an energy of love and is a safe color for all to work with, since how can the energy of soft pink love hurt anyone? You may need to let down your self-defense. Okay. Your self-defense that blocks your such energy from truly opening your heart. You have closed it off to protect yourself, but have barred the most important energy that can restore and heal you, and that is always love. Absorb into your body through the pink healing rays that you are loved for who you are right now, for all you have ever been, and for all that you can be. Pinks holds you through this journey softly, gently, back once again to love. Wow, see, that's so beautiful. All right, so, that's so interesting because we are going through this 2-year now experience of separation, of moving away from people and from being pushed into a very protective paradigm, right? Like we are here, there's a threat. You're a threat to me. You're a threat to my house. Your house. My germs may infect you. Your germs may infect me. Do I go outside? Like we're in this super protect, mask. Wash your hands. This urge to protect, right? This urge to use that sword against others has been pushed. But has the love narrative been pushed? Is the narrative about loving yourself and taking care of your health and living in a proper way and then sending love to others? Or has the message been one about fear, protection, and being the other kind of warrior, the old paradigm type of warrior? Or are we being encouraged to surround ourselves and everyone around us with love? Okay, this is beautiful guidance. All right, so we're going into the next layer. This is the Indigo Angel card, and we have divine timing. All right, hey, hello to my dear sister Stacy, who's also just joined. Excuse me, everyone, I'm looking at the chat, but I'm not able to pause to say hello as consistently, but thank you so much for joining. So divine timing, like so much of what we are looking at is about, okay, it's the end of the year, we're getting towards the end of 2021. What is 2022 gonna bring? We've all seen those memes out there that talk about, there's like a little tidal wave, and in front of it, it says, like 2020, and then behind it was 2021 with like an even bigger tsunami wave, right? This one is like 2021 to 2022. It's that same feeling of like, okay, when are we gonna get done? When is next? What's next? What's the time? What's happening, right? So all of this is saying that, the timing of everything that we are experiencing is managed by a divine time frame, timekeeper, operation, if you will. So some people, time is just even an illusion. But, we're talking about how, timing, a lot of what we experience as problems is because we have an expectation of the time that it's going to take. And this says to, not be worried so much about it, and know that everything is going to resolve and flow and move into a future. And we may not even know what that future is. So that's part of the issue, is that, we may not, part of our discomfort, part of that pearl, that grit that happens for us internally, is when we don't know what's coming. We are planners. We are responsible people. To be an adult in the modern world, you pretty much have to have your stuff together, meaning you need to know what time you need to be somewhere. You need to know what your obligations and responsibilities are. You need to know when to take the cake out of the oven. It matters, right? So all this stuff that we're keyed into to be like, when, right? Well, a lot of that, what we're having to release is we don't know when. We just need to release it and know that the divine has this under control and knows when the next phase needs to happen. It's so interesting because it's like we're in this heat of the oven. We're in this experience where the heat is on, like we're all having to like adapt and make changes, and the temperature of our society is like really up right now, right? So everybody's like, are we done yet? Are we done yet? Can we go back to how we were? Or can we go on to the next thing? Like everybody wants to know, can you stick a fork in us? Are we done yet? Right? And Spirit's like, not yet, Papa Smurf. Are we there yet, Papa Smurf? He says, not yet, my little Smurfling. So letting go and just being like the passenger, the co-driver in this experience is going to help all of us. The pearl does not happen overnight. All right, it's not a quick thing. I have to go ahead and, well, I'm going to tell you this next card is patience here. So these are going to go hand in hand, but I just have to give you a peek because underneath here, as we get to the next layer, is going to be perfect timing. So I love it when they layer on like this. So let me first go ahead and see what the guidance that was shared from the Indigo Angel about divine timing. All right, I was telling somebody the other day, it's like it builds a mosaic, and then when it's all done with the message, then all of a sudden it's like a big picture emerges, and that's so delightful for me to just experience myself. So that's why I get giggly and giddy. So divine timing, this card means that the real resolution of this situation you're inquiring about is delayed by much more than mere circumstance. Divine timing means that nothing can happen before the dynamics of your life are completely ready for it. Many factors are involved in the divine's timing, including other people's free will, chance, other people's free will choice. If your wish is fulfilled at the wrong time, the conclusion won't be right and the manifestation won't be lasting or permanent. Trust in the divine order of things and know that you're on the right path towards the fulfillment of your wishes and your Indigo mission. Keep your faith strong and be open to intuitive guidance, but intuitive guidance that calls you to action. One step at a time, all of your prayers are heard and answered exactly when they're supposed to be. It's so interesting because I'm also thinking about the Great British Bake Off or the Great British Baking Show. You know, I tend to watch that sometime with my friends. And in one of the technical challenge, all they get is a basic recipe. And it's so bare bones that it's they have to kind of rely on their own trust, but they also then have to trust the directions, which the directions will tell them, whip this, make a dough, make a glaze, set this up, right? It's very limited. And most of the time they're like, okay, I got the recipe and the proof, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And that makes them very uncomfortable. So like we have these steps that we're led to do each day, but we don't have like the full recipe. And in terms of the baking time, a lot of time in that little proof, they don't tell them how long they're going to need to bake a cake, how long they're going to need to bake the item. They're going to have to trust and observe at that point. So, you know, we are steady wanting the timer to go off. We want to know that it's going to take 25 days. We want to know it's going to take 3 months and then the pandemic is going to be over. We want to know that it's going to take X, Y, Z, and then we'll be able to be through something. And only then are we able to relax. But this is saying you have to relax and trust that whole process before it can even be done. And that's the thing, when you know that the divine is in charge of it, that it's not man in the grand scheme of things, that actually does help me at least relax. Okay. So interestingly, on the bottom of the deck from this card, we had patience, right? And you see, she's like laid out in a way. Sorry for the glare, y'all. She's like laid out, but this is like child's pose in yoga for all my yoga heads out there. And the child's pose is a resting pose in yoga. For me, it's kind of challenging because I can't quite fold all the way over like that, but I'm working on it. I'm better than I was. So, you know, part of the thing is that it's meant to be a position where you just allow yourself to be like a child, just comfortable in that position, restive and supported. So here she is comfortable, rested, and supported. She's not looking up to see who's coming around. She's not looking to see what's next. She's just allowing. There's no need to process and see what's ahead. Let me just relax myself. So I think that for us to be able to realize we can just be relaxed in this and to allow ourselves to let go and trust like a child does. This is very, very interesting. All right, so patience here. Before I forget, I'm going to put a link in the description box. There was an article that I received this week from the owner of Holistic Health and Wellness in Marietta. Her name is Dawn. She's a good friend of mine. And she forwarded me an article from a lady named Amina, who is the founder of Atlanta Tantra. And she is a beautiful spirit who's doing lots of things. And this particular article was about a really specific mirror practice that she advises. And it's about sitting with your own reflection. And so I had, that was in my energy to mention before when we were talking about the silver mirror and self-love. So I will definitely put that in the annotations below because it was very timely. As I said, the mirror has been coming up quite a bit. So, okay, back to the patience. So this card signals that what you desire isn't ready to emerge in your life. It doesn't matter, it won't come. It doesn't mean it won't come to you. It just means not at this current time. While you feel ready to receive the fulfillment of your wishes, it's not the right moment. Patience is one of the most important lessons on Indigo can learn because as the world is now, things happen much more slowly than they need to. This card doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It merely reminds you that as an Indigo, you're an advanced being who sees the entirety of situations much faster than average humans. Be patient with the circumstances and people in your life. Know that you're not the only one who feels as if you're running a race against turtles. The better you get at waiting, the more happiness you'll have. I mean, it's perfect. We'll sell no wine before it's time. Isn't that the Mondavi or somebody said, you know what I'm saying? You can't serve raw food. You have to wait for everything to be cooked. You have to wait for things to be mature. I've been talking with another friend recently about the in between, the waiting period, and how to feel okay when there's no evidence that something has actually happened when you put an energy out there. And my whole statement was that if I act now, then that presumes that what I've been working on is not actually working. Like if I'm sitting here and saying, well, I sent the thing out, but it hasn't come back yet, but it's not due for 2 or 3 more days, then why my expectation that it's going to arrive sooner can cause me stress because I'm thinking and waiting, well, it was going to arrive today. What is it going to do? What am I going to do if it doesn't arrive today? That is where the stress can come up. But when I trust and say, you know what, I've done what I can do. I've put the energy out there. Now all I need to do is just wait in stillness and not experience it as uncomfortable. Trust that divine timing is at play, right? Okay, so here we have this additional message of perfect timing. So there's really an emphasis about time here from these 2 messages. Perfect timing, it says now is the perfect moment for you to act on your inspirations. The doors are open while you walk through them with us by your side. Don't delay or procrastinate as all of the ingredients are right for your success. Everything and everyone is on your side. Everything and everyone is on your side. I love that. Supporting your positive outcome. It's like here she's listening to music, even like she's hearing inspiration. She's got a little halo on. I think there's, yeah, it's like a horn or an instrument. So it's like the timing of what you're doing, like I've done, like most of us have done a lot of like what our dreams are. By this point in time, we have been active all year. We've had time, we've had space, we've shifted into new creative things. We've got businesses, we're doing all those things. So we've got irons in the fire, right? So it's not that we need to wait for the circumstances to be right to do something. It's we need to be patient for the outcome of that thing that we did to make its way back to us, right? So here we go. Perfect timing. We say everything is always perfect. Whether we believe it to be so or not makes the difference of our experience of everything. So if we always say, you know what, Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Say it over and over again, right? Even when you're challenged by it. So it says here, this card means you need to take certain steps before your prayer can be fully answered. The angels say that now is the perfect time to act. They will guide you along the way. Sometimes it's not so important how we approach a situation, but that we put energy, action, and intention into manifesting what we desire. Once we take the first step in the direction of our desired outcome, the universe then gives us additional help. Take action now. The situation will work out well, provided that you don't delay. Make a decision. Any blocks in the past were because the timing wasn't yet right. So, what have you got going on? We don't need to wait for New Year's. We don't need to wait for January 1st. We don't need to wait. If there's something that you're doing and you're feeling like, should I do it? Do it. Get the energy out there. Objects in motion remain in motion, right? So it's like being at peace once you've launched it and allowing the perfection of the plan to unfold, trusting that what you've done is in alignment with what spirit guided you to do. Okay. And what's interesting, because you will receive then a shower of abundance. Look at that. I love it. Shower of abundance. And I was challenged today to do that. Somebody I was listening to said, you know, they start with their gratitude practice every day. And your list should grow every day of the things that you are abundantly experiencing. So to like allow myself to feel the feeling of being like the most wealthiest, well taken care of person in the world. Like that's how I feel. Like I look around my home, I look around the world around me, I look around the people that are in my life, and I cannot help but say, wow, I'm so abundant. I have a richness of my experience that is beyond anything that I thought that my life would be like 20 years ago. So this shower of abundance is also says this is coming. So when you make the perfect timing and have patience, then this shower of abundance from the plan that you have put forward is going to be part of your results. All right, so shower of abundance here. To heal your financial situation, first give us your worries concerning money. Anybody have any worries concerning money? Or is that just me? Okay. All right. Concerning money, we will guide you in order to show you how to create and accept abundance. As we work together, your financial situation will heal as fast as you'll allow. Okay, this card is a sign that your prayers about finances have been heard and answered. The more you can listen to and follow your gut feelings right now, the quicker you'll experience improvements in your financial situation. The coins that you've been finding lately are loving signs from your angels and departed loved ones. An unexpected financial windfall is coming to you. Give any financial fears to your angels. Follow any guidance you receive, as it could be an answered prayer about your finances. Abundance can take many forms, including having more time, opportunities, or clear ideas. Okay, all right. I receive it. I know Tanya in the group, she gets pennies all the time, like pennies around, like it's crazy the amount of pennies, but her dad is around her a lot. So that's evidence of presence of angels and loved ones as well. But like this shower of abundance, I definitely received this particular message. And I think that we all can, as evidenced by the economic recession and experience that we're having, especially in the American experience of things right now. So, all right, now we are on to the Archangel Oracle. And we have Angel Sandalphon, which is about evolution. So here we have timing, timing, and evolution, which is timing. Okay. And we were talking about here in this card, the message was about moving into from the old to the new. Let me see where it is again. I don't know where it went. Oh, the silver moon, full moon, often signals a time of completion and a cycle ending and a new one beginning. All right, so this is evolution, is about our upward spiral as we access more parts of ourself, more parts of our higher aspect. This is our creative and sacral energies as well. So, you know, Sandalphon is the archangel who is over the earth plane and very much connected with the soul star, earth star chakra below our feet, 6 to 8 feet below our feet, and connecting us and grounding us into the planet. The planet is evolving. We are evolving with her. So she's having her own experience, and we're her inhabitants on this earth ship, if you will, and this planet. So we are moving to ever higher levels of consciousness until we connect all the way up to our source light, divine spark self. So let's see here what message Sandalphon has. Evolution. Sandalphon wants you to know, this is the sacred guardian. Sandalphon wants you to know that this light is a light-filled time in your life. You are evolving by leaps and bounds, so this is a time to fill your heart with gratitude. Also, remember that if manifestation is not fully apparent yet, destiny will soon be knocking at your door, summoning you to reach new heights and new visions. Prepare by relinquishing anything of the past that stops you from emerging as the creative genius that you truly are. You will see 12 orbs emerging through this oracle, representing the universal resonance frequency. Therefore, see how 12 aspects of your own evolving nature are present at this time. Chant Om to channel the creative presence of the universe and to fully initiate the promise of future glory. Wow, that's awesome, because it's okay, we're emerging. First of all, emerging and coming up out with this truth, and looking at the 12 aspects of your own evolving nature. That is also that mirror. We see aspects of our evolving nature in others. Like I see the liar, when I observe a person who's a liar, I see my own evolution from the state of having lied before, right? So now when I see a person who is telling a falsehood or a truth, I see that as an aspect of myself that now is healed and resolved to the point where I don't turn into that strategy anymore as a coping mechanism or as my sword or my protection. I don't feel a need to do that. So that compassion of myself who once was that, I can see that aspect of myself and I don't shun that aspect of myself. So a lot of times we reject those aspects of ourselves that are less pretty, as an effort to hide those things. But I am all about incorporating all that I am that is labeled as good or bad and incorporating it and ground into myself and evolving out of those things that I no longer wish to embody at this stage of my journey. Okay, so we also have Jophiel, and this is interesting because we also have another orange. We have two orange. So this is about sacral creation energy. What we are creating out of our visions and our imaginations, we will bring into manifestation. So part of the powers that be, they know that our imaginations are deeply powerful. So what is projected to us are nightmare scenarios and horror scenes and horrible things, because our imagination will take those little grains and run wild with them. And then we have what we call miscreations because of that. So stepping out of that mass consciousness creation into the divine version of creation, you see here is this nun, right? And what do they say back in the day? They say, oh, you were slain in the spirit. If you were in church and you caught the emotion or whatever, oh, she was slain in the spirit, or caught the spirit and fell out. Like you experienced the ecstasy of the spirit of the divine coming into your reality. And it either made you faint or pass out or holler or dance or, you know, something like that. So this is like divine ecstasy, right? And then part of our creative power through that intention moment of creating something, the spark within our womb self, and then choosing to actually take that spark and birth it into something, then that's when we start the process of the timing, the change, the evolution from there. So that ecstasy, that imagination, that spiritual inspiration is available for us to convert into something that becomes tangible, not just a vision, becomes possible instead of just potential. All right, so Jophiel, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with Jophiel. I'm more familiar with Zadkiel. So let's see, Jophiel is the sacred lover. Jophiel wishes you to know that divine ecstasy may come in any moment as a deep feeling of passion for your spiritual growth, or as an aspect of your love, whereby your whole being is transfixed with the choice you have made to join the mystical pathway. The two gatekeepers on this path are awe and joy, both of which are closely aligned to ecstasy. As you experience this heightened state, be aware of the whispers of the angels. As you see in this oracle, angels use this high frequency opportunity to impart sacred loving information to us about our journey. They give our higher self information about a choice we need to make, or how to open vistas of consciousness about our ethical existence. Trust the angels, for they will always have your heartfelt interest in their hearts. Chant Ha in the heart chakra to open this channel of light-filled inspiration from the angelic realms. All right, beautiful. Allow ourselves to be divinely inspired. Like, let go, let yourself be excited and in awe and like, oh my gosh, be in joy at the things that you have the potential to create in your reality. Okay, so we have here on this layer, this last layer from the Archangel, the Oracle of the Angels. I love this. We have growing. So we've got evolution. We've got growing. We've got this pink of the pink rose with our compassion. Oops, excuse me, evolution, growing, right? Beautiful pink. The rose is that which speaks to me of the divine feminine, the Sophia, the rose of creation, the sacred heart of the feminine creation principle. And so here we have also card number 17. This is drawing, right? So I'm laughing at the chat that's happening right now. So growing, we have this beautiful, compassionate opportunity. Oh, and there's little angels. Okay, so there's angels in the background, or little fairies or sprites, and these beautiful pink. So it's like I'm also looking at pictures of Mother Mary and a pink rose, like right in front of me at this very moment from my office. So this is like the compassionate, self-love heart. We grow because we are nurtured. Roses are beautiful in the wild, but they are also glorious when they are kept by a beautiful gardener. So like we are truly being tended to by this beautiful gardener of the divine that is seeing to it that we are flourishing, that we receive the nutrition, the abundance that we need, the inspiration that we desire, that makes our heart sing and makes us happy. And so that we are evolving into our highest versions of ourselves and our reality. Beautiful to see these flowers. They're also like in full bloom. They're, they're not necessarily buds. They're blooming all the way in their ripe glory. And I love that they're not in a vase, right? They're out there growing and still evolving themselves. They haven't been cut off, right? So let's see here from growing. We have here. From a higher perspective, everything that we experience in life, whether we perceive it to be a wonderful blessing or a terrible misfortune or somewhere in between, always serves for our highest growth as spiritual beings in human bodies on this earth. Embrace your life experiences without judgment and trust in the knowledge that they all serve a purpose. Each day I nourish myself with the light in order to grow in divinity. I am here to learn and to grow at a soul level. I find my balance between material and spiritual worlds, and I free myself of inner conflicts. Okay, that's beautiful. Count it all joy, right? I said our interpretation of the experience is then what our experience will be. So if we can move out of that friction into the non-judgment and just being in it, it makes it so much better for us. We really do give ourselves a hard time down here. So each day I nourish myself with the light in order to grow in divinity. I am here to learn and to grow at a soul level. I find my balance between material and spiritual worlds and free myself of inner conflicts. Free myself of inner conflicts. With that sword of truth, we cut away all the illusions and all the drama and issues, okay? And then here we have our last in these, awareness. I love it. She's sitting out under a tree, connecting with nature, connecting with the galaxy, collecting with the potentiality of the universe, and connecting with the divine aspect of oneself. Beautiful. All right. So we are growing in our awareness. The more we tap in, our awareness doesn't come from watching the news. It doesn't come from staying up to date on current events. It comes from the conversations that we have with ourselves and our higher selves. So giving yourself time to have that conversation, to be out in nature, to be quiet, look up, right? This being is looking up. Let me see if she has, I don't know what's in her lap, if it's I guess it's not a book. I thought it was a book at first, but I can't tell if it's a writing pen. But anyway, we have, the rings of Saturn here, and this divine being. To me, that's almost like the divine feminine presence of the universal God source. So practice living in a state of awareness where you are conscious of every thought and feeling that passes through you. Start to notice the energy of these thoughts and emotions and ask yourself, are they serving you, assisting you to live according to your true purpose and potential? If you find that they are not, make a conscious decision to change those thoughts and feelings in the very moment that you notice them, to ones that are more positive and uplifting. I am conscious of each thought and feeling that I manifest. I am mindful of what I create in this universe. I am an expression of the divine light. I mean, mic drops, right? I am conscious of each thought and feeling that I manifest. I am mindful of what I create in this universe. I am an expression of divine light. All right. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this conversation. I love having conversations with the beings that are here out of love and service to myself and others, because this is the kind of magic that happens in terms of coming through and having a different perspective than the one that we are having about our circumstance and our reality. It's definitely been enlightening and illuminating for me personally today. Checking in here with the chat room while I get the last little 2 decks out here to pull from. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for sticking with me. And for those of you who catch this at a future date, thank you for stopping by as well. It's been a great conversation. I definitely needed to hear about patience and timing today, and about action and not just waiting and sitting while I'm supposedly waiting for this perfect timing, but going ahead and doing what is within my awareness to go ahead and do, for sure. So it's been a good prompt and beneficial conversation for me. So if anyone here is in the room and wants to request an angel card from the postcards decks that I'm getting ready to pull, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and draw for us as a group while everybody has time to chime in. Let's see here. Okay, Archangel Raphael. I mentioned him before. He's the divine healer, okay? He's the healer, the caduceus that we see in the medical staff is his sign, and he brings us healing and the medicine of our spirit and our soul. It's a beautiful thing to envision what Doreen Virtue has described as his green energy blanket, like when you're feeling sick or ill or hurt in your heart, to be able to wrap yourself in his green energy blanket for healing is a beautiful tool. Okay, I see you. I will get to your card here in a second. First, let's see, your awareness and perception of what is going on around you and in the other realms and dimensions is increasing daily. You are truly beginning to function on a multidimensional level. What this allows is an integration of thought forms and input from the higher realms. When you have the ability to access direct information, you no longer have to rely on external sources and therefore are functioning from spirit. Okay, where did that picture go of the divine face looking? I can't find it now, but it was that when you access direct information, you no longer have to rely on external sources, and therefore you are functioning from spirit. So as I said, when you're sitting in nature, having your quiet time, you're not getting your information from the TV, you're getting your information direct from yourself and your higher guidance. And we have that ability to tune into that. So beautiful message from Archangel Raphael. And on the bottom of the deck for the group is Archangel Hope. Okay, hope. Yay. We keep hope alive, right? We will be transmitting messages at different vibrations and levels, and each of you will know if a message is meant for you, for it will resonate deep within your being. Take from each message that which you feel is right for you, but do not be discouraged or feel guilty if you are not ready to accept the full mantle of your spirituality. Ooh, that's deep. Do not be discouraged or feel guilty if you are not ready to accept the full mantle of your spirituality. It's very interesting because everything's always applicable to my life. I've been listening to a lady who delivers messages, and she's out there in the world. And she's actually the lady, her name's Linda. She was talking about this sword of truth and how our bodies, our physical vessels, are the sword of truth. Like, we can feel in our vibration whether something is true or not. You know, she also teaches something about then discarding this concept of truth, even while using your sword of truth or your body vessel to tell you what is true and false. When she gets into that part of the teaching, it gets a little confusing for me because I very much am like a resonance vibration person. So if I hear something that's not gelling with me, then that's how I know how to turn it off. So part of what I'm doing, even in ingesting her information, is taking what I can process at my current place of spiritual evolution and then leaving what I can't process at this particular time. It's not about whether I agree with it or disagree with it. It's not at a resonance level that I'm not ready to accept as even part of my mantle of spirituality. And that's okay, right? So you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have, right? So we are the sword of truth, and to use that vibration so that you know if the message is meant for you, because it does. It resonates deep within inside of you like a bell going off in your cells. There's no way that any person can talk you out of the feelings that your body has. Right? So, all right, now for the chat room, this first card here is going to be, these cards are going to be for ecstasy. Stacy, okay. Let's see here. What angelic messages today for Stacy? All right, Archangel Faith. Talk about a warrior. Okay, hello. She's badass, okay? Yes, I said it about an angel. Okay, she's like victorious, and she's the twin flame of Archangel Michael. So it's very interesting. They both wield the sword of truth and the warrior energy of the angelic realm. Stepping out of the third dimensional mass consciousness thinking and energy patterns is a very brave and difficult thing to do. You are not only battling, in a sense, your own thought patterns and conditionings, but that of the mass consciousness. You are not only battling, in a sense, your own thought patterns and conditioning, but that of the mass consciousness. This is one reason it is so important to surround yourself with protective, loving light and the energy of your divine self. Okay. The energy of your divine self as you step out of that third dimensional mass consciousness. All right, I received that too. Thanks, Stacy. And also then here, Lady Amethyst. Why are you got these warrior chicks? Look at that. Okay, another badass here. Very cool. It says, dear one, do not be concerned about the cleaning out of old energy patterns or karmic issues. If you do not fear the necessary changes and give your higher self permission to oversee the process, time and the transmuting violet flame will work magic on your behalf. All right. Do not be concerned. Like, so we're not supposed to be concerned about the clearing of the old energy patterns or karmic issues in society, in the mass consciousness. What we need to do is we resolve our issues internally, is give permission, as it says, for your higher self to oversee the process. And then once you've transmuted through yourself and your old energy, those karmic energies and old patterns, you have shifted the fractal of the greater experience. So this is very beautiful and timely messages for you. And let's see here. Let me get into one more pull here for Tanya, who's in the chat room. I think that's what we got right now. Let's see what the angels realms have for you. Oh, this is always beautiful. I say this because I know that this angel is very, very important to you. Matter of fact, I'm going to let it roll for a couple of seconds here because, Tanya, I want you to guess which angel decided to come out to deliver a message to you today. I'm pretty sure you're going to know which one it is. Let me see who's on the, oh, these are both beautiful. I'm not familiar with the second angel, but the first one I know is one that you definitely walk with. Let me see, I'm watching for the chat to see who comes up. It's a very interesting card art on this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you. I know it's like a 30-second delay. I'm trying to wait, but I like excited. All right. It's like when you know, and I shouldn't have been surprised that this particular angel wanted to come out and play. It is, I'm gonna go with the other one first because I'm gonna still give you time to get to the chat. This one that I don't think you'll know is Lady Constance. And again, here we have this orange energy, the sacral chakra. Interesting images, Earth, the planet, an angel. This is, how will you know that you have moved into a state of grace? You will know when others reflect the beauty of your soul, and you will see it in their eyes. You will know when your abundance begins to flow. You will know when your heart and soul sings and you cannot keep quiet. You must share your joy with anyone who is willing to listen. Wow. You will know when your heart and soul sings and you cannot keep quiet. You must share your joy with anyone who is willing to listen. Okay, you will know and you will share your joy. And I just have to go right on into it because the angel that you got was Archangel Jophiel. That's your homie right there, Archangel Jophiel. It's the joy angel, bringing joy into our lives. And it says, as you begin to clarify your energies, releasing old conditioning, old half-truths, and fallacies, you begin to expand your awareness to a finer attunement. This means as a budding consciousness of light, newer, purer truths begin to filter into your awareness. Okay, as we are all beginning to clarify our energies, releasing our old conditioning, old half-truths and fallacies, we are beginning to expand our awareness to a finer attunement. This means as budding consciousnesses of light, newer, purer truths, sort of truth, begin to filter into our awareness. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful messages. All right, so I don't have anyone else who has requested angel cards, so we'll finish this with a message from Archangel Michael and who wields the sword of truth. We'll see, this is what the front of this deck looks like. Oh, wow. I'm glad I showed that because everything lines up connecting in some way, shape, or form in these readings. If it's the art, the energy, let's see, I'm not mix these up. So we have this, oh, and the sword and the moon. All right. So last message is here from Archangel Michael to carry us out of this conversation here. All right, Archangel Michael, what are we seeing here today? Put the cherry on it. Oh, this is just beautiful. It says, you are not alone in your endeavors. Never again do you have to function in ignorance and darkness. Now, of course, I'm hearing, you are not alone. I am here with you. I'll be by your side. I don't even know who that is. Who's that? Michael Jackson? You are not alone in your endeavors. Never again do you have to function in ignorance and darkness. Look at all that orange. I love it. And last but not least, you will always be in the right place at the right time. Perfect timing, divine timing. Look at that. We are always, always in the right place at the right time. Wow. This is beautiful. I get so charged up from this message. I mean, how can we not be excited to realize that there's this whole reality available to us, that we are not alone and we are not going back into the darkness and the ignorance. We're emerging into a new reality that is of a higher vibration than where we have been before. We are ascending, and part of our ascension is realizing that we're not alone on this journey and that we're never missing anything. We will always be in the right place at the right time. All right, I thank each of you who's tuned in for this long conversation today. It was overdue, I guess that's why I had a lot to say, but it just really makes me happy to be able to have the affirming messages that Spirit gives to me through these, and then to share this with you, because it's just, we're all companions on this trip. So if I was able to pass on a little bit of helpful information to you that helps shift your perspective and experience of the day, then that will be further evidence that you're not alone in what you're experiencing. There's another person out there in this world, namely me, who's experiencing something similar, and we all resonated with the guidance that was for today, because we truly are all connected to each other. So each of you, I'm wishing you so many blessings this week, for patience and love of yourself, and for the abundance that is around you. May it just spill out from your life, and to bring that abundance to those who are around you. Oh, hey, Paula. I love it. The Good Vibe Tribe, like all my real soul travelers friends who are supporting me. We have these conversations online. We have these conversations in person, because we're all really about trying to be our best selves and to improve our lives. And so it just makes me feel so wonderful to see people join forward and come forward for these conversations. because that lets me know that I am not alone too. Okay, so Tanya said the angel was Ariel. I forgot about Ariel, but Jophiel your list too. So you had Jophiel and Constance. So I thank each of you, and I appreciate your time here on this channel, and I look forward to connecting with you sooner rather than later, but it will always be in the most perfect and divine time. Namaste.